What is up, slaybaes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. Yes, my face is already done. I just finished filming today's video. I really wanted you guys to pause the video, let me know which side you think is affordable and which side you think is high-end, and don't be cheating. Don't scroll to the middle of the video to figure out which side is affordable and which side is high-end, because I'm watching you, okay? If you're new here, I film these new affordable dupes videos every so often. I actually have a playlist dedicated to all of my dupes videos, so if you want to binge watch some content, I'm gonna have it right here in the cards, and I'm also gonna have it listed down below in the description, so make sure you check that out after you watch this video, of course. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, click that bell, yada, 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 yada. Let's go ahead and get into the video because, whoo, it's probably gonna be a long one, so let's go. So for the sake of timing, I've already primed my eyelids off camera. For the more affordable side, which is going to be on my left side, I did use the Revolution Pro Eye Elements Eye Primer in the shade Core. It looks like this. It is a spot-on dupe for the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. What? Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I've talked about these two a ton on my channel. This one's $8. This one is maybe double the price. I could be wrong, but I feel like this one is a really, really good dupe for Soft Ochre if you don't want to spend the coin. You want to save a little bit of money. So I'll have both of them listed down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. Let's move on to eyeshadow. So for the more affordable side, I will be using the Nudes of New York eyeshadow palette by Maybelline. And then on the high-end side, I'm going to use the Born This Way, the Natural Nudes eyeshadow palette. So let's start off with the affordable side. I'm going to first take a bone colored shadow. I'm going to take the one called Soloist. It is a little bit more beige than anything. And I'm going to take that into my crease as like my base transitional shade, just to set things down so that way they're easier to blend. Ooh, this is actually looking a little brown on me, so I'm hoping I can find a shade in the Born This Way palette to match. I'm going to pick up the shade here called Nude, this one right here, and I'm going to use a different M441 brush, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to rock this in my crease. Now I'm going to pick up the shade called Creator, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to deepen up this outer part a little bit. Not so much deepen, but more so warm. Now, I do want you guys to know that these palettes aren't like identical dupes. It's not like a knockoff of the Born This Way palette, like the Maybelline palette isn't that. So they are going to vary slightly, like they're going to vary a lot more than some of my other eyeshadow dupe videos, simply because, I mean, they didn't knock off the Born This Way palette. It was just a coincidence that they came out around the same time. It's funny because the Maybelline Nudes of New York palette did appear in one of my recent favorites videos. It is a really, really awesome and affordable palette, so I highly recommend that you guys check it out. I'm going to switch over to a cleaner brush, and I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to pick up this shade right here in the Nudes of New York palette. It's called Seashell, so that one, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to use this to warm up that outer area. I also mixed in a little bit of maple, but I didn't go in with maple on its own because it is a little bit too deep, so I'm mixing Seashell and maple to get a very similar shade to Creator from the Nudes of New York palette. Alright, so now that I have the shade blown all the way out, I am going to move on to the affordable side, and I'm really going to start going to town and deepening up the look. I'm going to take this shade right here called Explorer. This is one of my personal favorite shades from within this palette, and I'm going to start tapping it in the outer V, and I'm using a clean M433, and I'm softly, or slightly softly, whatever, I'm going to start bringing it inwards in my crease, but I'm not going to take it too far up. Now I'm going to pick up the shade right here called Cocoa from the Born This Way palette, and I'm just going to start doing the same thing, tapping it right here in the outer V, and then just kind of flicking it inwards and just going in big circular motions. If you guys have not tried the Born This Way palette, it definitely is something special. I'm not really saying that the Maybelline one is better. I do definitely feel like the formula of the Born This Way one is just amazing, buttery, creamy, all of that. Like, it is definitely a really awesome palette, but if you don't want to splurge, the Maybelline one will give you a very similar effect. So for the affordable side, I'm definitely gonna go in with some kind of shimmer. I'm gonna pick up this one right here. This is called Fighter. And the reason I'm using this is because out of all the shimmers from within the palette, the copper shade looks like it's going to be the most promising and the most similar. Otherwise, like, the looks will look like completely different, so I'm really trying to get them to be as spot on as possible. So I'm going to take Fighter on the affordable side, and I'm just going to tap it right here in the very inner part of the lid. And this is going on completely dry. I'm not wetting it or anything like that. It is a very creamy and buttery eyeshadow. I feel like if I want it to be like super duper foiled, I will have to spritz it with some kind of Fix Plus. So I'm going to spray the brush just so I can show you what it looks like with a little bit of slip. So you can definitely see with a little bit of slip, it kind of glides on a lot better, which is exactly what I'm going for, considering I didn't take the extra step of cutting my crease. I'm going to clean off that flat brush that I used for the shade called Fighter, so that way I can go in with the shade called Gold Light or Golden Light from the Born This Way palette. This one looks like it is going to be so foiled, so out of this world. I feel like you're going to be able to tell a clear difference between the two formulas, but the colors will be similar. That is pretty. That is really pretty. Okay, so the shimmers, they're not even like remotely close, but the shades are very similar. This is going on so creamy. Could be worth the extra coin. It could be worth the extra coin. Actually, it is worth the extra coin. I'm gonna take a little bit onto my finger and I'm gonna start just pressing it, because I do want it to just lightly fade. Like that, like a gradient, like a... Oh, okay. They're so different. I cannot go out like this. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of cocoa now, and I'm just going to make sure it blends nicely into Golden Light. No idea where we left off because my camera cut off, but what I did is I put a little bit of that copper all over the lid, a little bit of the gold just to make it a little bit brighter, and now I'm going to go in with a blending brush and I'm going to kind of just feather out the edges just so that way it looks a little better. And I'm going to take some of Voyager and I'm going to use this to just smoke everything out. At this point, do I do liquid eyeliner? Probably. I don't think there's really saving this eye. Instead of keeping this very pretty soft brown, I'm going to deepen it out like I did over here, just so that way things match, because if not, it is not going to be a pretty sight. It's going to be an ugly situation. All right, let's move on to eyeliner. I know I said I wasn't gonna do eyeliner, but now that my outer V is like super smoky, I really have no other choice. So I'm gonna use this by NYX. This is brand new. This is the Epic Wear Waterproof Eye and Body Liquid Eyeliner. It is a brush tip eyeliner and I really love it because it's so black, like super intense. I'm gonna use this on both sides just because it is affordable and I don't have an eyeliner dupe to share with you. So roll the music. Now the eyes are almost done, let's move on to the rest of the face. I will be using the Physicians Formula 24 karat gold collagen oil on the more affordable side. I'm going to take a little bit of this and put it on my cheek area, and I say a little bit because a little bit goes a very long way. Now this also has that 24 karat gold flecks in it. It's also going to really hydrate the skin. I feel like my skin really just drinks up this oil every time I apply it. So I'm just going to put this all over forehead, cheek, and chin area. And then for the high-end side, I will be using the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir. This is incredible. I really love it. It definitely is well worth the hype, but it is pretty expensive. This also has those gold flecks in it. So I'm going to take the dropper and just drop a little bit onto my cheek area because a little bit of this goes a very long way as well. Also gonna put some on my forehead, and then whatever's left, just gonna put it down the bridge of my nose. As you can see, those oils really left my skin feeling very nice, luminous, and hydrated. I'm going to really let my skin drink that up, and while I do that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of color corrector. I'm going to use this right here by Pixi. I'm going to use it on both sides because I don't have a high-end concealer to try out in comparison to it. I know that the Becca one is a pretty spot-on dupe for the one from Pixi, so if you guys want to try that out, definitely give it a go. I just don't have it with me right now to do an aware test. I'm also going to take a little bit of this color corrector on my upper lip and sides of my mouth, and over all the areas where I have like scarring, just to cover it up. Let's move on to foundation. I do have a foundation dupe to share with you. For the affordable side, I will be using the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup with Sunscreen. This has SPF 50 in it. And then for the high-end side, I will be using the YSL All-in-One Glow. This here has SPF 23. I find that the formula of the Maybelline one is almost a spot-on dupe for the one from YSL. So those are the two I'm going to be using in today's video. I'm going to start off with the more affordable side, and I'm just going to go in, squeeze some out. This is just a little bit dark for me at the moment, but I'm sure we can make it work for the purpose of today's video. The brush I'm going to be using to blend out the affordable side is this one right here by Real Techniques. This is the number 405 Instapop Cheek Brush. One of you actually recommended this brush to me. You said it reminded you of the Sephora Pro number 47, which is this one right here. I'm going to use this on the high-end side to show you how it blends out. Ooh, okay, coverage. We see you, boo. Let's go in with the high-end side. I will be using this by YSL. I bought this during a sale so long ago, and I never really got around to using it. I would say the biggest difference between both of the formulas is that this one by YSL is just slightly thicker, but it lays on the skin the exact same way, and it gives me the same effect. So let's go in. I am applying this straight to my face with the brush as opposed to like brushing it on. I don't know, I just feel like it applies a little bit better this way. And I'm also going to just merge the two lines and really just like blend. When I tell you there's no better feeling than applying your foundation with a brush and having it streak free. I'm loving the way that things are turning out. This Real Techniques number 405, it's definitely a hit so far. I honestly like it a little bit better than the number 47 Pro by Sephora collection, and that's a big statement, okay? Let's move on to actual concealer. For the affordable side, I will be using the Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer in the shade C2. I'm just gonna take a little bit here. Because this is a thicker concealer, I do find that I need to warm it up with my fingers before I actually go in and start blending it out. And then for the high-end side, I will be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. I'm gonna do the same thing. Put a little bit right there. The formula of these two is like spot on, almost identical. It is unreal. I'm going to start with my finger, warm it up. A little bit of this stuff goes such a long way. I'm gonna clean off my finger, actually switch fingers, do the same thing over here. My colors might be a little off, but not too much. Hopefully people aren't able to tell that I'm wearing two completely different set of products on both sides of my face. But anyways, to blend out this concealer, I'm gonna use this brush right here by Real Techniques. This is the base shadow brush, but I find that it works really, really nice for this right here. So I'm just gonna go in and start blending this out. I'm just gonna use a tissue to wipe off the brush and then move on to this side and start blending. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics Total Face Sponge. And I'm going to just use this to blend that concealer a little bit more. I don't want any streaks around my under eye area. So I'm gonna take these steps to make sure everything looks good, and then I'm gonna flip it over, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the high-end side. So far, let me know which side you guys are liking better. Have I used any of your personal favorite products or just like dupes in general? And if you guys have any dupe recommendations that I'm not featuring in today's video, let me know down below in the comments, because I want to check out some dupes that you guys recommend. But so far, I think that looks incredible. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a dupe for under eye powder, so I'm just going to use this right here by Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Pound Cake. I honestly really love this powder. I think it is great. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to use it to set that concealer down and in place. The only thing that gets me about this powder is the net. I feel like it makes it really, really hard to pick a product, but whatevs. I'm also going to use this powder to set down my chin and like everywhere else on my face because I need it. And this is more of like a luminous base foundation. So I find that if I don't completely set it, that it will slip inside throughout the day, especially because I live in Florida. It's hot, it's humid. Girl, it is not a pretty situation. So I do take the extra steps of like doing this. But you definitely don't have to if you want more of like a luminous, glowy feel. All right, now that we're nice and powdered, I'm actually gonna go in with a pressed powder. And for the affordable side, I will be using this by NYX. This is the Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. I love this so much. And on the high-end side, I will be using the MAC Studio Fix Powder. I find that these two are spot on dupes for each other. So I'm going to be using the NYX side on the affordable side. And then I'm gonna get to the high-end side in a second. The brush I'm using, by the way, is a Pro Powder number 59 by Sephora collection. I do really want to do a video all about like affordable brushes that I love, but just bear with me. I am still trying to test out more affordable brushes and get a feel for them. And then once I have like my set of favorites, I will do that video. But I know it's been highly requested from you guys, so bear with me. I'm working on it. It is coming. And for the high-end side, I will be using the MAC Studio Fix Plus powder. And I'm going to use a similar brush, but not quite. This is by Real Techniques over here. I am going to add a little bit of like bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it, but I don't have a dupe, so I am going to use an affordable one. This one here is by Maybelline. This is the Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Suntan, and I'm just going to warm up my face a little and just give my face some definition because it's looking hella round. This quarantine is not doing me justice. It's not. I'm eating way too many snacks. Let's move on to blush. You guys know I've been obsessed with blush recently. I really have. So for the affordable side, I will be using the Almay Healthy Hue blush in the shade Nearly Nude. And then the brush I'm going to use is this one right here by e.l.f. This is the Featherlight highlighting brush. And I duped this to one of my personal favorite brushes by Smashbox, which was a big move for me because you guys know I use that blush brush in almost every single one of my videos. So I'm going to take this and brush on the blush. I'm obsessed with this color. And then for the high-end side, I am going to go in with this blush right here. This is Dallas by Benefit, and I'm going to be using my Smashbox Precisely, or is this Buildable Powder Brush. And I'm going to go in and do the same thing. Really build up this color. It is such a beautiful shade, and it literally is a spot-on dupe from the one from Almay. You really just have to go in and build it up just like a little bit more than the Almay one, but it's alright. If I'm being completely honest, I do prefer the Almay blush over the one from Benefit just because I do feel like it's a lot more pigmented. I'm gonna go back into that Almay one and just brush a little bit more onto my cheeks because why not? We love a good blush. I'm like really itching to spray some setting spray on my face because my lashes are ashy and my shirt is, ooh, I got powder everywhere. It was like a explosion, like. Let's talk about highlighter really quick. I'm gonna go in with more of an affordable highlighter. So this one by Nabella that she created in collaboration with e.l.f. is an exact dupe for Jaclyn Hill's loose highlighter in Bomb. So I'm going to put this one on the affordable side, and then I'm going to use this highlighter brush by Milani. It is a spot on dupe from the one from ABH, the A23. Girl, don't sleep on affordable products. Do you see that? I had to wipe off my brush because Lord knows that was way too much. I will say a little bit of this stuff goes a very long way, and do you see how it's accentuating texture? Highlighter, a gift and a curse. It really is. Let's go in with the one from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I'm using the A23 by Anastasia. I do want to hold them up right next to each other. Honestly, the one from Anastasia gets a lot of love, whereas this one I don't reach for it often just because it's always tucked in the back, but that's why this one's a little bit more fluffy than this one, but exact same thing, exact same concept. I'm gonna go in with that Jaclyn highlighter and just pop her here. I think I have more texture over here than over here. It's not the highlight, it's the skin. Okay. So I did finish off my lower lash line off camera. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and go in with mascara. For the affordable side, I'm gonna use the Lash Discovery Mascara by Maybelline. This is one of my favorites because I really love how tiny the wand is. It fits really close to my lower lashes on my lower lash line, and it doesn't get everywhere, so it makes it really easy. Sorry, you couldn't see. Just gonna coat these lashes. I'm also going to blend my lashes in with the falsies, so I'm going to just run this at the base of my lash. I'm not dragging it all the way through. And for the high-end side, I'm going to use this right here by MAC. This is the Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. Again, I love it because the wand is so small and it fits really close to my lower lashes. So let's get it going. Before we finish off with the lips, I'm going to spray my face with a little bit of the Milani Rose Water. This one's more like a water hose, if I'm being honest. And then for the high-end side, I'm going to use the Fix Plus in Rose as well. I said as well, but they're both rose, if you got my drift. For lips, I'm going to start off with the affordable side. I'm going to use this lip liner right here. This is the Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Saucy Toffee. This is a spot-on dupe for my all-time favorite liner by KKW in the shade 2. Hello, thank me later, save a little bit of coin. Not that much, but coin is still coin at the end of the day, okay? So I did fill my lips in just a little bit more than usual just because I don't have a lipstick dupe. Today I only have a gloss dupe, so that's why. I'm gonna go in with the KKW one now and do the exact same thing. For the affordable side, I'm going to go in with the Summer McKeen lip gloss that she created in collaboration with Maybelline. It's just a pretty nude. And for the high-end side, I'm going to use this right here by Dior. This is the Lip Maximizer Hyaluronic Lip Plumper. And while this one by Summer McKeen doesn't have like lip plumping properties, the shades are very, very similar. And they also have that really pretty kind of like shimmer iridescent reflex to it. And last but most certainly not least, I'm going to go in with a little bit of brow gel. This one is by ColourPop. This is the Brow Boss Gel in Clear. I'm going to use this to comb my brows up. And then for the high-end side, I will be using this one right here by Glossier. This is the Boy Brow Gel in Clear. So I wanted to zoom you out just so that way you can kind of get a feel for the look as a whole. I definitely feel like out of all the full face videos, this one has the most differences from the eyeshadows to the lips. Like there's a lot of different finishes within the dupes I showed in today's video. Now, I do want to point out that in the Born This Way palette by Too Faced, that the shimmer is beaming, it's popping, it's wet, it's so glistening. Like when it catches the light, it's so beautiful. But that is because it is a foiled shadow from within the palette. Like all of the shimmers are foiled eyeshadows, whereas the one in the Maybelline palette, these are just regular old shimmers. These are not foiled shadows by any means, so they do appear to be a lot duller than the Born This Way side. I do prefer the shimmer on the high-end side rather than the affordable side, but that's me. If I want something a little bit more toned down, I'll reach for the shimmers in here, but if I want something poppin', high end all the way. Let's talk about the lips a little bit because I definitely feel like there is a slight difference there. Saucy Toffee is an exact dupe for KKW lip liner in 2 when it's completely dry. Like when swatch dry, it's a dupe. When applied to the lips dry, a dupe. But when you start to apply gloss directly over top, Saucy Toffee looks a lot lighter than KKW lip liner in 2, and you can definitely see the difference here, so I wanted to point that out. But honestly, I don't think it's too big of a difference to go with the affordable one over the high-end one if you wanted to save money, but that's me throwing it out there, putting it out there in the universe. Do what you want with that information. If after watching this video you really love this palette over the Maybelline one, then go get this one. I feel like this one is incredible. It's well worth the money, but I always like to give you guys more affordable options because there are so many new products launching every single day. So if I can save you guys a little bit of money, I definitely want to do so. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you loved it, of course, let me know by giving this video a big old like. I'll know to film videos just like it in the future. And with that, I don't think I have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.